Hi, everyone. Welcome to another live show. Susan Winter here. I have Bee and Gwyneth with me, my wonderful, 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 fabulous ladies who are here every week. And Brian Pablo's here, Jeff Phillips pulled over to the side of the road to actually join the show. We've got Katrina here and Kits. And today I am helping all of you to find your way to stable, consecutive dating and building a relationship and a love that lasts. So today we are talking about the slow burn. Now, you may be considering entering a relationship and doing your due diligence to prepare for it. You may be entering something, something, and you don't know what's going on, and you like this person and you want it to last. You could be currently in something where the attraction is moving now into a good sense of a relationship, and you could be wanting to stabilize what you have and make sure that it stands the test of time. So I'm going to go over the 5 keys that I believe will set you up to give you a great foothold in a long-standing relationship. Now, it works for you wherever you are on the spectrum and of getting to partnership, okay? But I need to say this because in our current time period, relationships are disposable. We we separated relationships from sex, and that's when everybody started getting confused, taking the most intimate act in the world and making it just like a cup of coffee, and then, "Yeah, thanks, that was cool." Now, there is a time and a place for everything. I have girlfriends that have done marriage, they've raised their kids, they have lived with men, they're like, "I'm done. I'm not living with another man. I'm not taking care of another person. It's playtime." And they're very clear about what it is and what it isn't. And they play with partners that are clear also. But this is for those of you that happen to be in a place where you want committed relationship. You want to build a love that lasts. Perhaps you want marriage, you want a family, or you want to live together, whatever. I'm going to go over how this occurs. You know, for years, it was easier because you kind of had to marry somebody to be with them and physically. But the expediency of getting together, which now, it went from getting to know each other over a prolonged period of time when people met in real life. It didn't happen so quickly, right? But with the internet and everything sped up, it was 10 dates back in the 90s, then it was 3 dates. Now it's like the minute you see somebody, and you all talk about the connection, the connection, the connection. That initial connection that you feel, that rush, that's not the connection. That's the feeling you have of excitement over, "My God, I finally found somebody I'm attracted to that wants me." That's not going to sustain you. We need to have these 5 keys to build a safety net that can sustain your love and allow it to grow, because you hear me say all the time, new relationships go through these reactive periods because everybody's scared. As the affection and emotion is developing, you'll get weird, they'll get weird, because you got skin in the game. Okay. Let me quickly say hi to everybody before I go into the 5 keys. Again, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us. Let's see, Kits, I told you you can ask a question. Okay, we have Katarina here, Brian Pablo. Love Brian Pablo. Debbie, hi. This is timely for me as I just met a new guy. Fantastic. Oh, Galactic Woman. Oh, I love you. Some of these names I've known for a long time, and I'm so grateful that you're here with me today. Okay, so the slow burn relationship. Why does it work? It is harder for people to kick you off the ride when they like you. I learned this by dating bad boys. I had no skill set for games. I came from Minnesota. I thought if they told me they did something, they did it. I mean, the ultimate farmer's daughter, not a farmer, but it was like, "Oh, really? Okay," because that's the world I grew up in. Oh, it's like, "Hi, come get me. I'm an absolute idiot. I'll believe anything you say." So, I had to go into this world to figure out how to help all of you because I never had those experiences. I got very good at doing one thing. I knew I was gonna be bucked off that ride. I had to establish a safety net that could sustain me because this is not my nature. Physical intimacy is very, very private and a very select group. This was really hard for me to do, but I knew I had to create, I had to learn who that person was. I had to find their heartbeat. I had to merge with them. I had to find the place where they were going to like the human. The lover, they kick off the ride. They got 4 or 5 every week. It doesn't matter. Lovers come and go. But they had a harder time being mean, bad, or dishonest, even though they're inherently dishonest, with somebody they actually like as a human being. So that was the safety net I discovered. I'm going to show you how to get there. Okay. All right, everyone. Stacy, nice to have you here. GTA, good morning from the west coast of Portland. Three angels. Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad you're all here. Richard, hi. Good afternoon to you. Okay, let's start with number one. Number one is the preset. This is before you even get there. For those of you that are just starting out or just meeting somebody, this is the filter process. Now, obviously, you can't have a love that's going to go the test of time if they're not the kind of person that can do it. Okay? So you got to filter right from number one. Pre-dating, number one. This means you are very, very clear on your purpose for dating, your purpose for having a relationship, and the intention of what you want to create. This clarity allows you an absolute filter. I understand if you are dating online, there are many people who say, "Oh, yeah, I want a committed relationship. I believe in monogamy." And you find out that they don't. But to the best of your knowledge, you are going to try to filter, asking questions and being smart. Okay, do you understand how that goes? We're going to start in the very, very, very beginning. Hi, Terry, Oahu. How are you doing? So, do you have any questions on that? Because I know we've discussed this. You have to know where you're going. And again, I believe in a very elegant form of hardballing. I believe in being honest from the very beginning. If you want to have an honest relationship, you are going to have to start by being honest in your speaking. You are going to set the pattern. Not everyone you meet knows how to do a relationship. You are probably far more skilled than the people you're going to be dating. So you've got to bring your A game to set the template of what you want. And remember, what's a Susanism? Okay. If you don't know what you want, you will get what they give you. And it isn't until you do that enough times as a younger person that you go, God, I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. Oh, so that means I want this, this, and this. Okay. Any questions about that? How do you bring this up? Okay, we've had discussions on how to do this. I'm going to do a slide. I'm going to keep to the time because then I answer your questions. All right. So this is still talking about your pre-dating. Pre-dating is where, all right, we've merged into number two, which is your dating experience. So Debbie, I'm going to take us into number two. Let's talk about how this is number two is your statements of what you stand for. People don't like to do this because they think, oh, they're just going to agree with me. Okay, they might. They might lie to you and agree with you. You did your end of it. Are you giving them valuable information to use you? Perhaps. How are your instincts on telling what is real and what isn't? Are you watching them? Because the actual dating process, which is the second key, is exploration and discovery. You are not having sex yet in this process. Yeah, you're not having sex yet. I suggest do what you want to do. You're all adults. I don't want to give you directives, but they haven't made the grade yet. When you start getting physical, you are going to lose everything you had in place. All you need is for somebody to make your eyes roll back in your head and your toes curl, and you're gonna be, "Oh, no, it's fine that you have kids scattered everywhere and have never had a committed relationship, and you're a known cheater, and you have a drug addiction. I can work with that because, oh my god, as long as I can see you twice a week." So, you're gonna go blind. Don't go blind, alright? So, in the dating phase, you are exploring and discovering who they are. You are taking time to have conversations. So, this is your answer to this, Debbie. I believe in stating what you like. It doesn't have to be them. I like to, as I say, jump to the philosophical. Those of you who know me have heard me say this before. Jumping to the philosophical is a general statement of what you do and what you're looking for. I really am looking for an incredible experience. I know a lot of people just date for fun or they date to get married and have kids and stuff, but and then you state your vision. You're creating your dream. Okay. So, like, I want a growth mindset. I want a partner that I can continue to grow with. I don't want to get bored and stale. I want a partner to explore the world and adventure. I want to learn about them. I want us to learn things together. I want a relationship that lasts. Now, I want a relationship based on honesty. Now, you've heard me say this before in the preliminary conversations. Early dating, I really believe you need to give them a diagram of how to proceed in honesty. It can be 2 sentences. I like to say something like, "Look, we're just getting to know each other. I like you, like to see you again. This is cool. Just so you know, this is how I work. I like it straight. I take honesty. Please don't be afraid to be honest with me. Let's make an agreement. If we're not feeling it, we can just send a text saying, 'I'm not feeling it.' It's all good. Nobody's bad, nobody's wrong. Are you cool with that?" I That's what I would like to do. How does that sound to you? You're giving them an out in the very beginning, so they don't have to ghost you or play you. I would prefer that. Honestly, that's how I feel. Okay? So let me see what's going on here. Wait, I have something. Okay. Let me get back to Galactic Woman. Okay, Judith from the Netherlands. How are you doing? Stacy Brown. Okay, so Kits, I met a man on a dating app and we've been friends with. Are you looking for a committed relationship? You can't be a friend with benefits and hope that it'll flip. That's really hard to do. I'll continue reading here. Which was great for the first few months. Now he's pulling back and ignoring me ever since I confronted him about it. I don't know how I should act. Kids, I'm going to be straight with you. Don't do that again. If you want a committed relationship, you never settle for friends with benefits. Here's your Christmas. You get Christmas in July and August and September and October and November. Oh, wait, it's Christmas time. I don't get any presents now. I've been giving them all year long. You haven't even been a good boy. Okay? If you want, you I'm going to ask you to do something extraordinary. A slow burn means you don't rush the sex. This is not 1950s. This is survival for the 2000s, right? There are so many emotionally wounded and traumatized people from dating that get into something that in the moment, the heat, the passion, it feels so incredible. And you haven't developed the self-discipline to protect yourself. So what happens instead is that we get reactive, angry, upset, and finally explode at a person. And they're like, "Hey, yeah, we weren't really, we are just seeing each other. I thought you were cool with that." So if you see that you are doing something, a process of dating and behavior that does not make you happy and does not serve your end goals, then don't do it. If your goal is to be friends with benefits, that's cool. I got nothing against that. Just don't look for a relationship out of it. You are looking for a convenient physical partner, and that is the agreement. Period. Nobody owes anything to anybody. Every construct has its rules. Even if you think we haven't discussed the rules, it has its rules. Somebody who calls you at 2 in the morning, they're not looking for a relationship. Somebody who texts you, "What's up?" They're not looking for a relationship. Somebody that shows you a dick pic, they're not looking for a relationship. I got to be straight with you so you know what's going on. If you want a relationship that is enduring, meaning lasts the test of time, which was the title of this show, a love that lasts, the flash in the pan doesn't last. So we are now still discussing section two. And kids, this is not, I'm not against anybody here. Believe me, I've got people in every aspect and every construct. My only thing is if you're in something that is making you unhappy, I strongly suggest you don't do that again. And sometimes we don't know until we've tried it. I tried to be modern. I'm not. Do you know how irritating that is? God, it'd be so convenient. Just work all day and then have a little fun at night. I attach. I it's a package deal. I can't separate. Mm-mm. If I like you enough to put you in my bed, I really like you. And then I want some kind of to be honest, I want control over how that happens in my life and the rules by which we play because I personally like feeling honored and respected. I've been honored and respected my whole life. So why would I suddenly now be okay with not? Now, there might be a time that I can grow into that level of maturity or grow out of my level of emotional connection. I don't know what it is. But um, I've been up there in my years now, and I'm not sure that's going to change because I feel a connection in order to make that physical connection. You don't have to. All I'm saying is this is all about sustaining a relationship. Okay. So, in the dating process, you are constantly looking at the goals that you have established in segment one before you even started dating. Are they matching those goals? Do they seem to want what you want? Are you on the same page? This is where you are doing the exploration. What's it like to be with them? All right. That's what's happening then. Okay. ET, I know you from Germany. So I'm just saying hi to everybody. This is a live show. So for those of you listening just for content, this is great. Bear with me as I say hi to my wonderful people that are here because that's the beauty of a live show. Um, let's see. Okay. I'm going to get back to some of these later. If I don't answer you now, just write them again. Okay. So we've done pre-dating, the setup mentally, and all of your parameters and your filter. We've done dating, the exploration, the discovery, and the honesty statement, and also the hardballing is where you reveal to this person what it is that you want. You say, "Look, I'm looking for a committed relationship. I like monogamy, or my partner and I, we want a whatever your thing is, you're going to reveal it to make sure that you're on the same page. Okay. That's what you're doing. You're giving them what it is. Okay. That's the hardball. It doesn't have to be this person. It can just be a statement like, I really like committed relationships because I focus all my time and energy. If I feel that somebody is not committed to me, I don't give them the best of who I am. And I don't like that. I don't like doing, halfway. All right. Number three. Okay. Three, growing closer. This is where you're developing a deeper connection. So forget that quote unquote connection with the heat and the passion. You know what I say, right? Too hot, too soon, it crashes just as quickly. So that first surge of passion, if you want a slow burn, you're going to have to notice that. And let me tell you, there is something really cool. A prolonged, excuse me, prolonged delay of gratification is the anticipation. Everybody knows in seduction, it is the buildup of the anticipation to the act itself that keeps the person hooked and engaged. But it's not a game. And this is where people get confused, going, oh, I did that, but they left me anyway. Well, because they wanted a quick hit. But you probably might have been just retracting and playing games. When you're real and you're authentic and you've done what I've discussed in step one and step two, by the time you are coming to step three, which is growing closer, you are seeing them consistently. They are matching your goals. and you are checking all their values. They want you. You want them. And you know what's amazing? The passion is just boiling under the surface. And it's not a game. It's a foundation. Okay? It is a foundation. Some people play it as a game, and if your partner says, "Look at I'm this is driving me crazy. I don't know what's up with you or what game you're playing because honestly, we've been seeing each other now for, 3.5, 4 weeks. I see you a couple times a week, and I mean, are you playing a game with me?" You say, "No, I'm not playing a game. I'm looking for somebody that I can connect with." You see, the thing is, physical comes later. It's the cherry on top of the sundae. It's not the meal itself. And for anybody who wanted to rush it, you have if they fall by the wayside because they don't want to wait, to have it really develop, to allow themselves to connect to you on a deeper level, not just a physical flash in the pan. This slow burn just continues and continues and continues, and you feel closer. You feel better about each other. You start to really see who this person is. Every time you do that, you sustain the amount of time that that relationship will move forward because you are building on something that is solid. Passion in the moment is not solid. It is fleeting. And once the anticipation, which is what, momentary, an hour, 2 hours before you meet each other, 6 hours of an incredible conversation, then you sleep together, that is a whole cycle for the person that does it, and it's done. And then you wake up the next morning, you're like, oh my God, I met this incredible person. Oh my God. You call all your friends, you go, I know, this is the one, this is the one. And you don't hear from them. Or they contact you once in a while. Tuesday night, 10 o'clock. "Hey, I'm in your neighborhood." You didn't set it up right. It's like you use a nice tee for a tee shot, you know? Like, you have to know how to set it up for success. Set your mind up for success, the filters for success, the dating experience for success, the connection for success. Now, we are now discussing number 3, growing closer, consistency, matching goals, checking values. Is everybody clear on that so far? Yvonne says, how about saying I date one person at a time? There are so many people out there dating multiple people. You can or cannot. During your filtering process, this is completely up to you. You don't need to say that until you start. This whole dating one person at a time is implying that you're going to have sex with them very quickly. Very soon. I'm sorry. It implies, hey, here are my ground rules for sex, but it's coming way too soon. Okay? You don't need to tell somebody this. You're still filtering them. They have not earned the right to be with you yet. They haven't. Okay? So you never have to have that conversation. You can see as many people as you want and start filtering and filtering as you like. If you only like to date one person at a time, that's fine. That's your choice, but you don't have to. Again, that's basically a preliminary exclusivity. Some people do it that way. I prefer not to because I like to keep your options open. Okay, I agree connection is important. I find many people don't mean what they say. Yeah, that's going to be true. Susan, you have been very helpful when it comes to letting the other know what I value and won't settle for yet less. Yes. Now be very cognizant of how you explain that in words. Okay. We're never going to make them feel bad or wrong for wanting something different, just to make you very diplomatic and clear about what you want. Okay. People, you can have a perfectly wonderful person who's just not at that point in their life. Okay. Now I'm coming back to everything. We have more than enough time. I'm going to give you this growing closer, consistency, matching goals, checking values. Still no sex. I know. I know you hate me. But if you're constantly being disillusioned and you notice the one thing that's there a little too soon before it was earned, and guys, this goes for you too. My gay guys out there, my guys in a relationship, if she's pushing you, she's just used to that because she thinks she's going to lose you. And guys, if you meet a woman, she's like, I don't understand. I don't think you like me. You haven't come on to me. You say, I'm looking for a relationship. And I'm really sorry that every guy made you feel that that was the entry fee to getting to know them. Are you okay with me seeing what we have here? This is not some retro, uptight moral thing. You know what I'm doing? I'm trying to help you all from bleeding out emotionally. Now, I'm not telling you how long this has to be. But these goals have to be met. I suggest you don't do them in under a week. Okay? But give it a little bit of time to breathe. I'm not talking 6 months. That's insane. That's insane. What I'm talking about is a normal amount of time given that you are really feeling that connection. You will feel it from them because you'll start to feel more in sync. You will start to, okay, now, all right, you know what? I got to stop here and tell you a story. I've got 2 more keys to go through. Okay, I'm going to tell you the story about a contractor I had. So this house that I have in Arizona, like, I never planned on living here, right? But, it was not designed for me, but I had a contractor, my neighbor across the street, he and his sons did contracting, and I really trusted him, and he was wonderful. His son came to do some internal work, a lot of things, breaking down walls, lifting things, repositioning the vents, everything. Okay, I'm gonna get to you in just a minute. Thank you so much. Oh, Jeff, hang on. Love you, love you. Hang on here. Oh, wait, what are you gonna say? Here. Thank you for all your help. We appreciate you very much. It's still hard getting over someone you liked. A broken cookie dumped me. Go figure. It's for the best in the long run. Love you. I just had to stop and say that because Jeff pulls, he's a driver. He pulls over into a rest area where there's a whole lot going on other than Susan Winter's show. Be careful of the bathrooms, Jeff. Thank you so much. I appreciate your contribution. Thank you so much, Jeff. Mwah. Okay, this so I hire the son, right? Because my neighbor tells me he'll do a great job. I open up my front door. My heart just, I mean, it's like Brad Pitt. I mean, this guy was like gorgeous. I look at him, he looks at me. He's probably expecting some old broad. Like, this was some 10, 12 years ago, right? He's probably expecting some little old lady with gray hair. I look at him, he looks at me. Okay. He's here every single day during the week. I mean, we get to talk. I'm working online. He's whatever. His wife would call him. He's on a scaffold, takes the phone call. She's having a bad day. He leaves me. This was routine. This is why it took so many months. He just leave because she wanted him to pick her up something at the store. I don't know. She can't. She tries, but he left her. He had 2 kids, and they were, you know what? They were under 1st grade, so she had her hands full. So we start talking, and I said, "George, you're really there for your wife. That's kind of amazing. Could finish this lighting equipment right here." But he said, "I was never like this." So he was kind of a rolling stone. He was very good looking, has many different things he could do, bartending, construction, you name it. He would ramble from town to town in his early 20s, have a job, stay in a place, just see the world. He traveled all over the world, got odd jobs, and would say, and because he's so gorgeous and so nice and really intelligent, he'd say to women, "Look it, I'm not doing a relationship. I don't do them. I'm here for a little bit of time and I leave. I'm going to be honest." So he was what we would call an ethical non-monogamist way back in the day. And he said, "I don't want marriage. I'm never marrying, and I don't want kids. I don't want to lead you on. If you just want playtime, I'm here for a couple months. We can sort that out. I will be seeing other people. You're not going to be exclusive." They were like, "Oh my God, thank you. Yeah, I just want a piece of this." One day he's working here in Arizona, and this beautiful girl walks in the door, and he's bartending, and she comes in a bachelorette party, and he goes, "Oh my God, I got to have that. She's gorgeous." 3 months. She made him wait 3 months. He said he was gonna lose his mind. Now, I'm pretty sure she was reading Steve Harvey's Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, because he had a hard 3 months. To me, it worked because he married her, had kids, loves his family, said he never knew what he was missing. He was such an idiot. but I know what she did. She knew a guy like that is in and out of everybody's bed, and she knew that that's not the way to keep him, and although she was following a set of rules that were a game in a way, because she had an exact time period, that gave him enough time to see who she was, and the difference between, "I never want this," to, "I really like this. I really want this person. I never thought I wanted that, but I so want it." And he knew he wanted to marry her long before he ever asked her. She finally, after years, said, "What?" Oh, they were together, obviously. Said, "When are you going to ask me to marry you?" And he's like, "Well, I just always knew I was going to marry you. I just never thought about it." And I'm like, "Dummy, she wanted that." So yeah, marriage and kids. Said never been happier in his life. Adores his wife. What's the difference between that woman and everybody that came before? Because he was not in the market. This one put him through the paces. She did her checking. She made sure that he wanted what she wanted, and she didn't enter that pool for a swim until she knew there were no sharks. She can still have something unbeknownst to her happen, but probably not. Again, I am not saying 3 months is a requirement. Please hear me. That was an older book. That was probably, I don't know when he wrote that, but if ladies, if you're going through the revolving door of guys and you really want a relationship, really consider allowing yourself to take time to select them. We are all so insecure and scared these days that, oh my God, somebody wants me. You're so afraid if you don't jump on it right away, they're going to be gone. The right person will want to discover you as well, if they want what you want, if they want a long-term sustaining relationship. Okay, before I get to key 5 and 6, let me get back to this. Tomaselli, how are you doing? Happy to have you here. Heather, hire you. I like dating other people, but if the person I love isn't okay with me doing that, then I won't do it. Okay, so great. So you already know the construct of your love a la carte design. I'd rather like to travel the world. B, did my super chat go through? Jeff, you did. Yes, I just saw you, and thank you so much. Yes, and I just read it. I'd like to travel the world. Okay. Let's see. That's a shame, but yes, Jeff, I answered your question. I hope you see that. Lila, hi, Susan. I took your advice, really started getting comfortable with communication, asking for what I want and need. I have a loving boyfriend now, no sex. Everything that someone else hates, he loves. Okay. All right. So at some point you may want to have sex. I'm not saying I'm not, and again, I'm sex positive. Ladies, we should be able to have sex, but just know, eh, oh God, how do I say this without sounding sexist? This sounds so stereotypical. I know men, and men know men, and guys back me up on this. It is a harder job for a man to see you as a viable, sustainable partner, maybe wife and mother of his kids, if he thinks every night of the week you're out hooking up with somebody. It's going to be hard for him to think why he would be different and better. I know it doesn't seem fair. You cannot believe the men I have spoken to who tell me with shame, I know we live in another time period. I know that women are allowed to have sex, but she's had so many partners and I really like her, but it's kind of hard for me because you get booted out of that category. And understand that this is not every man, and most men fight their way through this because they know for every guy you hooked up with, you didn't want to just hook up with one guy after the next. You were looking for somebody that wanted to stay. They played you. This is the way to not be played. Have sex the way you want it, but make sure it's your design, what you want, when you are comfortable. Okay? Number 4. Okay? We're getting there. Don't worry. And again, I don't have a time frame of 3 months on this. You just have to meet these goals. Okay? Number 4 is your self-evaluation. This is when you know you're ready to take it to the next level. You feel safe, secure, and fulfilled. You really trust this person. Then you go to number 5, which is intimacy. You've at least now, Could they fail you? Yeah. Maybe they've got a hidden addiction. Maybe they've got a family in Salt Lake City that you don't know about. But you've done your best. Do you see how that happens? The very last thing is the intimacy. Again, I don't have a time frame. All right, let me start to answer these questions here. Um, okay. Okay, so Lila, we read this. I think he allowed him to become the best person he can be. We all want someone that helps us become more and better. Okay, I think you're talking to somebody else. Terry, last month I dated a guy a few dates. We agreed to try to date just one on one. Okay, good. All right. Once I said that I wasn't going to have sex until he got tested, he was offended, said I don't trust him. Needless to say, he ghosted. Okay, this is where a preliminary conversation about um, how do you feel about honesty? I know it's weird in the beginning of relationships. We want to make a lot of assumptions. I'm really open to hearing what you're thinking and feeling. So I don't think we need to ghost each other. I'm cool with you telling me whatever it is, and I'll listen and we talk about it because this person was not. I don't think it's that. I don't sense that he was irritated that you didn't trust him. I think that's a very healthy decision to make. I mean, it's a little offensive if you're not sleeping around. I had a boyfriend ask me to be tested. I'm like, I don't sleep around. I don't have that situation. But for him, he must have thought that he knew I had the possibility that I could. So I said, fine, I'll show you the results. And you do the same. Okay. All right. Uh, and you may also want to think about condoms, you know? So that's another thing. That the asking somebody to get tested is normally considering that you want to have unprotected sex. So these are all decisions you have to think about. I'm not going to go into the sex thing too much. I'm not a specialist in that category. And I know to stay in my own lane. Mine is interpersonal communication and the dynamics of human behavior. That's where I can help you. Okay. So happy to see you, Susan. Your advice is so valuable to me. Jyoti, hi. Oh, I love this when I see people I know here. Okay, Lila is talking to Terry. Nathan, this is so true. Thank you from one of the guys. So please realize I am not being moralistic or judgmental or anything. My goal is if you've been wounded, many of you can fall for somebody that you've never even met. That's because we're so hungry for the real thing and it seems so far away. Many of you can have one or two physical interactions with somebody, and it means a lot to you because of where you come from and what you want. But you haven't done these steps to cement their connection to you and to allow yourself ample time to evaluate who they are. Because here's the thing, people come out of their bag over time. Okay. And when you're sex drunk, you won't see it. You'll see it and you're like, oh, but it's not going to be that way for me. We have something, it's different. And then you're going to need to call me for a consultation and pay for it. So save yourself money and do these things to begin with. Okay, so again, here are the 5 key components. 1, the pregame, the preset. What do you want? Why are you doing it? The filter. This is what I want. Okay, so when you see things that are coming your way, whether it's online or across a room coming onto you, you know, you have the right to say, yeah, I'm not doing, you're a really good looking person. I bet people love to chat you up, but the way you're talking to me now makes me feel like you just want to run into the back of the bathroom and do something all kind of crazy here. And I'm just not your person for that. You know, oftentimes, here's what's really terrifying. Not only the women, but the men, well, I should say not only the men, but the women are getting instructions as to how to play these games. Men don't pursue anymore. They're terrified if they do, they'll be considered a predator or they'll be, in trouble with a woman somehow, canceled. Uh, they're afraid to ask a woman out, and the others are too timid and shy and lack the social skills to be able to do it because they've been using an interface for so long they don't know how to use some kind of human being. All right. Okay, Jeff, you smelled a rat. Okay, you're all I love it that you all talk to each other. Love bombing. Okay. What questions do you have for me? This is your time. We still have 20 minutes left. Okay. The slow burn establishes the connection, it gives you the safety net you need. We cannot guarantee they will not fail you, but you have done absolutely everything in your power to get to know each other. I have two people, two ladies that could not, because of COVID, get together. They met each other, not suspecting they would be going in a romantic direction. And because they couldn't travel, all of their conversations were on Zoom, on phone for a very months at a time. When they finally met, it was like, "No." Okay. So, in that way, it served them because they were already in love. To be honest with you, in the relationships that I've had, I never had to think twice. It was my choice that I waited until I knew that there was a loving connection. But I did that because I wanted a certain kind of comfort. That's me. You might not need all those guardrails. You might be at a time where you can be much easier with this. Adjust what I have said to your disposition and to your goals. Okay? Questions? Anyone? Send me a super chat. I'll back you up, Miss Susan, all day. Us men are always horned. Beware. All right. A slow burn is like a warm fireplace, but fast paced love is like fireworks that fizzles out quickly. I know. And here's why it hurts so much. It's so powerful because it hits you like a tidal wave and you go under with it. It's that undertow that just pulls you in, and it's delicious in the moment, and then before you know it, you're crashed, you're on the beach, you got cuts all over you, there's some, like, walrus licking at you or something, and kids going, "Oh, look, mommy, that person's all messed up." So, you don't wanna do that to yourself. Katharina, hello, my darling. Okay, Susan, what if a man is very shy and without much experience, even though he is a professor in his late 40s? You speak to that man in his language. He's an academician, so he only understands he's cerebral. He's not physical. He probably doesn't even know much about what makes him happy physically. You may if you like a partner and you realize that you have far more knowledge in constructing a relationship, how to do a relationship, but you feel they are worth your time, and I did a video about that. Are they worth your time? You see enough that you like, then I would suggest that you take a proactive role. Not everybody is super charismatic. You can find out, okay? You may have to ask for private time with this person and say, "Would you join me for a cup of coffee? I want to discuss this, that, or the other." When a person is exceedingly shy, they almost have to be beaten over the head with a two by four to understand that you like them. I mean, it's not on their radar, especially if they think you're here. They're like, "Oh my god, what would he want with me?" I mean, you know, for any of you that are, public figures or celebrities or any of the people that I work with that are really stellar in their field, the person you meet may look at you and think, "Oh, what do I have to offer?" And so you may have to do some of the connection work for them to encourage them. Lila, Susan, my dad abandoned me since birth, and my real dad raised me. Wait, my dad abandoned me since birth, and my real dad raised me. Okay, I'm not sure I understand that. I'm still not over that, and it's hard for me to trust someone like a new boyfriend. Took me a long time not to entertain toxic men. So, Lila, I think ongoing therapy with a therapist would be a really good thing for you to work out the abandonment issues. Just because one man failed you doesn't mean that has to be your template for every man. Most of us nowadays have not grown up with an idyllic childhood. Some of you have. That's beautiful. That's amazing. I encounter people with unbelievable confidence and they don't know anything bad, or if they know it, they just, we have to be resilient in this time period. We cannot let the wound that impaled us continue to fester. So it's bad enough that something happened to you once. To allow yourself, now hang on, because I'm going to get real here. To allow yourself to indulge in its remembrance and make it hurt you now is unnecessary. It happened. Nobody's taking away the power of that experience. But carrying it forward is you hurting yourself. It's you abandoning yourself. See, ultimately, it's not about us trusting them. It's about us trusting our choices. That's why I go over those 5 steps. That's your work to trust that you have the right information to make an excellent decision. Okay? Let's see. Let's see. Okay, Alex. Hey, how are you doing? Oh my gosh. Hi, Susan. It's Alex, one of your clients. Says, of course I know. We discussed a situation where I met a man, Xavier, yes, at the gym, but I understand all this, which you gave me the advice to grow. Hang on. To grow. Alex, where did you go? Hang on, Alex. To grow. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Bear with me, everybody. To grow what's working, our friendship. Okay. Very strong emotional feelings and major physical attraction to him did not go away within the course of 2.5 months because he is currently in a relationship with somebody else. Didn't he also, last time we were on a live show, flirt openly or talk about another guy in the gym with you right there, knowing how he cares about you care about him? Because you've already told him this. I had one directive for you, and this is your decision only. And y'all gonna hear about something private that is now public, okay? Um, you have to judge how you feel day to day. Your decision is made by how good it makes you feel or unhappy. And when you track, I feel good, I feel comfortable, I feel safe, as opposed to I feel upset, I feel anxious, I feel worried. We gave it 2 months for you to come up with a conclusion, but that's your decision to make. You have to track this. So everybody, this is beautifully timed because um, this is going into number 4, the self-evaluation. You can be immensely attracted to somebody and there could be barriers. They could currently have a partner. They could be just getting out of something. It's not the right time. They could be in the middle of a divorce and their ex wants them back and they're problematic, or they could be confused right now. So your only decision is, as I look at the arc of my interactions, do I feel that one, I'm getting closer to what I want with this person? Are they willing and able to bring that to me? And are we in alignment with this vision that I have? I have, not the vision they have for me, not the little box they want to put me in to make themselves comfortable and add me to their life, that I have for their participation in my life. Y'all, you're driving the car. They're not driving the car. If you're not driving the car, they're driving it. Now, you can both be driving the car. That's a balanced relationship. But this asymmetry really bothers me. Okay, so Alex, your only thing is you're at 2 months now. Tabulate what you want, say what you want, and when they're not meeting it, say, I really enjoyed the friendship, and for me, and then whatever your conclusion is, I've decided to continue to keep you to be friendly. And yes, I was attracted to you immensely in the beginning, but I know you have a partner and I don't want to be the third wheel. Or you say to them, I really like you a lot. And the more I know you, the more deeply I feel for you. And as this cannot be, I may have to sever this relationship for myself. Not because you're bad or wrong, just your love design doesn't match with my love design. Okay? If you want another session, Alex, make sure you contact me. Susan. Hi, Susan. Love you and love your channel. I'm 26 going on my fifth date with a 36-year-old. I thought that was 36 million. Okay. A 36-year-old male. Okay. He was in a 10-year relationship previously and they broke up a year ago. Any tips for navigating through this guy? Listen to everything we've said. Do you know what you want? Are you able to articulate it? Can you give it time to breathe to see if they want what you want and they're ready for it? Are they willing and able? Are they honest? Are they okay with honest communication? You will never, ever, ever have a relationship that can withstand the challenges that come at you individually and as a couple if you cannot honestly communicate. The hard conversations. I really love communication, and I think I'm going to teach a master class on it or a group class because it is not sexy. It's not going to get a lot of clicks. It is so essential. Things are going to happen. You're going to assume things. You're going to see things. There's going to be too many days where, like, they didn't respond at night. Like, are they dating somebody? I didn't hear from them on the weekend. Oh, yeah, they're fishing. Are you really fishing? I just saw you post a picture in Boston, in the city. You're not fishing. There's so much stuff. And if you can't ask the question, you don't feel safe because you're afraid of their answer because you already know their answer is something you don't want to hear, or you know that they're closed to having an open conversation. If you're terrified to speak to them, there's a reason for it. That's not going to fly in a relationship that sustains the test of time. Okay, Tiffany, listen to the replay, and we're rooting for you. Okay, Jeff Phillips. This is a treat from Nika. Oh, thank you, Nika. Nika, come, Nika, come. Come, Nika, come. Where are you? She's sleeping someplace. Nika, come, Nika, come. How long were we in puppy kindergarten? The one creature. The one creature. Okay, let's see. Okay, Jeff, I will definitely tell Nika. Nika! Okay. You said in a video if you want something with someone who is unavailable or does not want the same thing to go. And I did. Very hurtful. But did what I needed to do. So you answered your own question. Ah, and he did. Yes, he did. Okay. All right, my dear. This is great. You were on the right page. You will know whether you should proceed by how you feel. We should not feel like we're walking on eggshells. That's not a healthy relationship. And guess what? The more you try to do that, to just be in something that maybe they'll get better, maybe, oh, here's the fantasy. In time, if they just get to know me, they'll see how wonderful in time I'm not like the others. And no, you're not. In time. Folks, it's not this much work. They have this tool set or they do not. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Richard, $20. Richard, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you're so generous. We love having you here. I love my guys on this show. Please, thank you so much for joining us. I love the fact that B and Gwyneth are here. We don't have to manage. We had trolls. Whenever we do older women, younger men, we get some weirdos on here, but we haven't had that in a very long time. So they're here just to make up the family. They're part of my family and part of your family, and to just assist everybody. Can you imagine every Thursday of their life? My God. Um, but it's a safe place for everybody, and there's no judgment here. Okay. We're all just looking for the best solution. I don't know your love design. I don't have to do the love design you do. I can support you in that. I've worked with thruples, I've worked with triads, I've worked with trans, I've worked with straight, I've worked with gay, I've worked with, people wanting hookups, people wanting ethical monogamy, people wanting lat relationships where they live apart but they're together. I mean, I've worked with BDSM, I've worked with so many different, it's always about the same decisions. Is this nurturing me? Is it hurting me? Is there any way for me to affect a change? Because I will do everything I can to make sure that I've given my partner the correct information as to what they need to know so that I can have the kind of relationship I want and we can live in a really phenomenal connection. But you have to know what you want. You have to be able to communicate it. They're not mind readers. People don't know. And this is how you get to clarity much more quickly. And when you're that clear, a lot of people fall by the wayside. Don't be worried about that. You're going to have a huge fall off if you start filtering right away because but you're not going to go through 3 months, 6 months, 2 weeks, 4 weeks of dismay. So it's kind of preventative, right? It's like preventative heart medicine. Okay. Richard, if the topic of sex arises on the first or second date, I truthfully say I want to get to know you first. Many ladies assume I'm not really interested in them. Yes. Um, is there a better way to say it? Absolutely. Here's what I'd say coming from a woman. I think that's a really, really sad commentary on where we are today. And I am so sorry for any man that has made you feel that you must pay a price to enter the game of maybe getting into a relationship. Because I know, guys, I'm a very physical and loving man. And I assume, of course, it's a romantic relationship, it's going to happen. But you and I need to get to know each other. If we want to build something, if you want a toy, yeah, I might be up for it, but I'm kind of not your guy. I actually am a relationship guy. This is not a game. I see so many females that I know, and I feel so sorry for the bait that pulls them in with the promise of this is the way to get into the dating. And I know what y'all go through because guys lie. I just It's gonna happen, of course. It's not As a matter of fact, it's not about not being attracted. It's about respecting you and respecting myself. You're very hot, believe me. This is self-discipline on my part, but I think it's for a good cause. How do you feel about that? Letting us take our time, knowing that that's obviously gonna happen if we continue to enjoy each other's company. And Richard, it could be 6 or 9 dates or 10 dates. I don't know it's gonna work for you, but when you get enough of this that you feel comfortable, those 5 keys, it again, this is this is up to you. You all can have really long, lengthy, honest conversations and maybe jump in a couple of these categories right away, but then still give it a little bit of time, couple weeks to breathe, seeing each other 2 or 3 times a week, calling on the phone. Just make sure again, crazies come out. People can hide it for a while. You're protecting yourself, but do it when it feels right. Sex should happen when it feels right for you. And especially ladies and some of my men, it should never be a condition to participate in the possibility of maybe something. Maybe. I don't know. I'll think about it. Talk about being empowered. You want to be confident. You want to like yourself. You want to not have anxiety. You want to get over dating trauma. You want to be good to yourself. Good to yourself means how do I feel? When am I ready? Even with my bad boy players, they went out of their mind. I said, "I'm getting there. Don't push me." I would say you're a dime a dozen. These little things you got attached to you, they're a dime a dozen. They're all over the place. We can get them in any minute. Women can. Yeah, this is not an issue. I gotta like you. Right now, you're irritating me. I mean, but I was like, believe me, I didn't know how to do it, so I had to do it the right way for me, okay? Listen, if you're not sure what a game is, pick up the dating games guide. The link is in here. That is like 60, I don't know, 60 hours of videos or something like that. That is the AI driven. You say it, you speak it, the free app. It's amazing. It's the Retrieve library. And It comes for free, and I think it's like $49 or something like that. It's so much quicker than going through all of my material. That's super. So is the older women, younger men. So that's awesome. Let me see. Greetings from Poland. How are you doing? Okay, everybody, let's see. Oh, we're at the end of our hour, so let me do this. But thanks to you and your guidance, I still did what was best for me. Alex, let us look at him as the preview to a coming attraction. All of you, if you have somebody you met and they just blew your mind, they were just like everything you wanted, but you couldn't have them or they wouldn't be with you in the right way. And you chose to have unbelievable self protection, self confidence, and self love, and decide you tell the universe, no, love what you sent me. I'm sending it back to the chef, the big chef, okay, because I need it baked and done and ready for me. I'm not no nibble here or there. I'm not doing the crumbs. Every time you're firm with the universe, you're gonna get more of what you want. Got it? Okay, thanks for the very good advice for both men and women. Thank you, Richard. But I took this as a learning lesson that one, I am unable to get rid of my emotional and sexual feelings for someone. Two, I learned okay, I think I read that wrong. I think he means I'm able. And two, I learned how strong friendship aspect of a future partner could be. This friendship aspect, this is what I call your safety net. What you call friendship is what I have been referring to this entire time as building the connection, the foundation, where you actually like them. They like you. You're having great conversations. It's easy. You're comfortable. That is what you want. Your partner is your sexy best friend. That's the best way I can define a long, believe me, in the arc of decades in relationship, and I've done decades, okay? You're going to need a friend who loves you and is there for you more than you're going to need a lover. The sex is important, the passion is important, but day in and day out, it's a deep, deep partnership based on a true love for the person. Okay. And it's because you're both for each other and you're honest with each other and you handle the struggles together and you can get through to conflict resolution. Folks, if you never learn how to speak to your partner, you will never have a chance at getting through conflict resolution. And the first thing that happens, they won't be able to know how to do anything with you. As a matter of fact, Matthew Hussey has been on the road with his book. He's newly married, and he's very open about the fact that he would have reactions. And this was the first girl who said to him, like, I know you're going through something really difficult, but you're acting kind of like really, you're shutting down now, and I can't deal with that. So tell me what it is. And she pulled him out, and he had to look at certain things in himself. Don't think you're gurus, don't go through it too. We are humans. Oh, I assumed I'm one of your gurus. I'm gonna just put myself there anyway, but all of us in this space, myself, Jonathan Asley, Matthew, we have relationships. You've seen Jonathan, he fell in love with somebody, and the longer they were in the relationship, there was a mismatch. You don't know that going in, but you do the foundation properly so that you can have the adequate discussions. And they had a very lovely, loving uncoupling. And he did this in front of everybody. Does it take away from his ability to be a guide for all of you? No. He's telling you how it is to go through this twist and this turn, and we need that. You don't need the Sherpa that's never really, that just sat by the side and there was never an avalanche. You need the person that's seen avalanches and cut legs and all these. You need the people that have been through the disasters. Oh, okay, here's how you get through this one. Okay. So you all understand this. Now, remember, you can have a consultation. If you like, go check my consultation page. We are not having a live show in 2 weeks. That will be, I think it's May 16th, is it? Let's see what else. I love the fact that you're talking to each other. Okay, poor Jonathan. I felt bad. He did fine. He loved her. Jonathan does so much psychology. You got to be really like, that's the thing about dating a dating coach. You can't get away with anything, but then neither can we, right? we've got to be held to a different standard. Love, 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 love you, Susan. So incredibly grateful. I have your guiding advice and helping me to do what's best for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alex, mwah, mwah, mwah. Okay, y'all. I'm thinking of doing packages. I've never done those. I tell you what it costs, and I work with the emergency room, people coming in and fixing them. I'm realizing that there are a lot of people that want ongoing. And I'm thinking, I work so fast, you don't even need an hour. So I'm playing around with this. Let me know, give me some feedback if you'd like packages, because they come at a lesser price because you do pay like for a whole package, and I can work with you all on that. Okay, new merch. Now, I've got 4 quotes. They are to back you up in your day-to-day life, and I did it for you on purpose. What you're going to see here on YouTube is not all of it. I can only show you a couple pieces. If you click to the link that's the merch, you'll see tons of designs and products that you are never going to see otherwise. And we just got on Meta, so we're now on Instagram and we're on Facebook. So take a look at that stuff. Now, why did I do that? 1, I get a kick out of it. 2, I love the mugs. I love a mug, and you've all been buying mugs like crazy. I said that last week to buy a mug. When you start your coffee in the morning, I want you to remember who you are. Okay? I want you to remember some tip. Here are my 4 quotes, different for each aspect of your life. 1, it's not me, it's you. That's for all of you that like, I know what I'm doing. You people are falling by the wayside, and I'm tired of looking at why I can't sustain a relationship with an unsustainable person that doesn't want what I want. So that was for the dating games people and all the people that are like, okay, I know I'm playing clean, I'm doing everything right. This time, the reason they're not showing up, it's not me. So that's for you. T-shirts, sweatshirts, gym bags, you name it, water bottles, whatever. Baseball caps. We got purses, we got everything, tote bags. Then I've got keep the dream, replace the person. Those of you who have been very close, they fell by the wayside. Just like Alex and everybody else, you got the design. You've got your design. Don't feel badly. You're closer than you ever were before. By the time you're entering your dream with a human being, even if they fail, you've already manifested it in the physical. It's not an idea, not a hope, not a maybe. You're halfway there. They just got kicked off the conveyor belt. You start again. Okay. Then I had, you're so big and strong. That's my affirmation thing. That's a bit of a joke, but it's kind of, it's to remind us all that not only are you so big and strong, you can handle everything and you're resilient, but also to encourage, feed the good, starve the bad, whatever your partner is doing, if it's good, because you're going to give them corrections with your honest. You, in order to be able to say, you know what, honey, I really got a problem with this. You're not bad, you're not wrong, but here's what happened. It really hurt me and blah, blah, blah. I'd prefer that you did this and that. And I'm doing it because it makes me feel like this. Can you help me on that? I would prefer this. What do you think? So you're going to have enough of those kinds of conversations. So we got to make sure that they're fed affirmations. And then the most recent one, this is for Katya and everybody else, and Katya's not with us today. It's consider this. What if it's all perfect? And that ties into the Allowing Magnificence, which is now on Audible. And I think it's free for most Audible players and for subscribers. And it's like a couple dollars through Amazon if you're not on Audible. That's 2.5 hours of an audio booklet. And it's all about whatever you're going through now, whatever pain, whatever trauma, you really can't see the arc of life. If we could see it in real time, we could see how this event, this situation, this catastrophe has the seeds within it, the potentiality to take us to a far better outcome. Right now, we're not getting what we get. I want them. I want them. Why are you taking them away from me? You cruel world. I hate you. I hate you. Oh, it's not fair. How do we know? When some of these people fall off the, conveyor belt, they do so for good reason. You can't see down the line. Sometimes I just want you to open up your mind to the fact that maybe life is working in your favor and try to help you getting rid of the stuff you think you want, but it's really not good for you. Like when I grab something from Nika that's gonna hurt her. It's delicious. She fights me, but I know it's gonna hurt her. So I'm just the same as the universe pulling something away from you. So that's the consider this. Okay, I'm wrapping up the show. Oh my goodness. Okay. Katarina, 250. Oh my goodness. This is so wonderful. Thank you, Susan. Good advice and interpretation. He really is a good man, but very shy and doesn't understand that I admire him. Katarina, here's what you do. Do this exactly. If he's not your professor, if he's your professor, we have to do something different. Call me for a consultation. Just stop him one day when he's got some time and it's quiet and just say, listen, I just have to let you know how much I truly, truly admire you. Give 3 reasons that are real and true for you. This is a one-sided monologue. You're going to lob the ball over the net. Make sure you make eye contact. If it is appropriate and he's not your teacher or your colleague or whatever's going on with your HR, touch him on his arm or put your hand on his shoulder and say, I just wanted you to know that because I truly admire you. Your, you know, the way you help the students, your diligence in your research papers, and your unbelievable communication of truly complex ideas into a really easy to absorb pattern for your students. That's such a rare gift, and I have to tell you how much I admire that. It's really quite extraordinary. And then you walk away. And you tell me next week what happens. Okay? All right, everybody. Adore you, all my mantras. This is perfection here, no matter what is happening. Galactic woman. I love this. Consider this. What if it's all perfect? Alex, that was your preview. Let's build you a perfect leading man. Let's make room for a gorgeous, fabulous, one-on-one man only who's like, oh my God, I thought I'd never find this in my life. Okay. Everybody adore you. B, Gwyneth, thank you for being a fabulous audience. Remember, if you want to work with me personally, don't hesitate. So slow burn, you can review the 5 different things that are good. Well, the last one's intimacy. That's just when you're ready. Okay. Thank you all. Tell me what you want to hear. Write it down here so I know what to do for next week. And love you all. See you here next week. Thank you for being a fantastic audience. And I appreciate your giving me an entire hour of your time. Midday for some, dinner time for others. I know it's not easy to take the time. Jeff drives pulls over on the street. I mean, this is amazing. Thank you all for your time today. Be well and know that I'm with you on your dating and your love journey. Bye, everyone. Take care. Next week. See you.